Hello everyone, almost Shabbat Shalom here in Israel. For you who are following and are joining from LA, from Africa, from all of you who are wonderful in sharing experiences to join in. I'm in Tel Aviv. So that is the skyline of Tel Aviv. It's interesting, I have an old picture of my dad where he took a picture and a similar view, but at that time the only building that existed was that building on the edge, the Hilton Hotel. That was the only thing. Everything here was just dunes and dunes. Yeah, so we are here. This is the old port of Jaffa. A lot of history here. A lot of history here. The Crusaders, the Ottomans, the Greek mythologies. This point is called Andromeda Point. It is, let me see, I want to make sure with the camera in the hand and the way that it moves. Yeah, that edge over there, that little rock, is considered Andromeda Point, where according to the Greek mythology, that is where there was a sacrifice of Andromeda for Poseidon, what they believe to be god of the sea. And here we are. This is a typical Friday night. Just taking out boats and beautiful, beautiful. Within all this chaos, within all this mess over there, the buildings and everything, there is this, while it is noisy, appears to be, but it's a very quiet feeling. So let's see what I have here on this side. This is really the port of Jaffa. It goes all the way around. This is the old city of Jaffa. Original, much of it is original construction. And so I'm going to turn the camera now and share with you. There you go. Almost. There it is. Oh, kind of. Well, hello everyone. What a blessing to be here and to talk with you while this is going on. Let's see which. I'm going to be here, just like that. There you go. Or actually, like this. There you go. So now it's in LA, about 10 hours behind, so it is still early for you early birds. And I've arrived here about a week ago, and it's just been a wonderful, wonderful experience. All facets of experiencing a new yet familiar journey. Coming here this time around, 3 years after the Korach era, it felt off in the beginning. It felt off. I came the first week to my family, and it was a little bit dealing with family and all the beauty and intricacies that are involved, that are part of a family. And everything ties into this week's message, into this week's journey. I mean, I'm here in the Mediterranean, and and in Israel, and it's just exhilarating. And every day that I'm, oh, that's fun. Wait, I have to show you this. Okay, all right, okay, all right. I'll be posting more videos and more little snippets as I go along and as I compile things together and feel them, how they are, how I want to share them. So so this week has been is like everything at the same time. And this is what this time is kind of teaching. Is it is not, oh, I'm just going to be in the desert. Oh, I'm just going to be in the ocean. Or I'm just going to be uh, in the field or uh, in the forests, right? It's everything together, isn't it? I'm kind of so dark. There we go. It's everything integrated. Everything is integrated. If we don't integrate all our experiences equal, if we don't integrate all our sides, all our joys, all our fears, all these places where we are not always happy to talk about, happy to be, and happy to experience, then then you'll feel. First of all, it won't achieve a harmonious solution, and it'll just create more isolation. Because if we're doing something that we're doing one thing excessively, then it's like a muscle. If exactly, if we do something excessively, then that particular muscle is being developed, and something else gives in. Shabbat shalom, dear darling. Hello, Meir. Yes, it's gorgeous. Meir Chai Ben Yao. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for being here. So if we're doing something excessively, it's always going to be, if we look at a graph, if we do something excessively, or like when we work out, if we work out only one hand, then I'm going to be a one-armed Popeye. And, you know, so if you want to be only a one-armed Popeye, then you just exercise one muscle. So it's integrating everything. And that's why I also shared with you in the beginning what was with family and where I am now and what experiences I'm going through, which I didn't share everything, but it is observing. And this is what I've been enjoying doing, is observing how things manifest, what movies we make in our heads, and what stories come out of these movies. We don't know what is going on. And also, if we see something, we see somebody dressed in a certain way, we see somebody looks as if we believe that person is representing anything. We don't know the story. We don't know what's going on behind closed doors, so to speak. So it is always a great way of starting a conversation is by asking. What is happening. Nice, Mayor. Oh, Chicago. Yeah, well, it is warm pretty there now in Chicago, right? We are getting to summer. Yeah, this is wonderful. So integrating Chicago, I know I integrated Kansas City for a long time. So if it is a place of choice or not, doesn't matter. It's an integration. It's something that there is a reason it is here. There is a reason we are here. I believe that everything physical in this realm, everything that happens here in this realm, in this dimension, has a spiritual reason and cause. Everything. And for those of you who say, but a banana sometimes is just a banana, well, also a banana needs a reason to be a banana. So, you can look at it in any way. The easiest way is the best way, right? Because when we are flowing, when we do stuff that we love, when we are in a place where where we love, and we love being with certain people, doing certain things, that is the key. That is the key to exercise our gifts. That's the key to take our gifts out. Look at the things that you love doing. How much effort do you put in it? It doesn't matter because you love doing it. And because you love doing it, it feels effortless. Of course, we have to take a mic, we have to open, we have to. And by the way, please let me know about the sound. The reason I'm holding the hand here, I'm not practicing the muazzin call in the mosque as they used to do. I'm just holding this so you don't hear this. So let me know how the sound goes. And so things that we love doing are effortless. And they bring us joy. And because they bring us joy, we are in that joyous place and we can put this joy with someone else, right? So with that said, I want to talk about today's, and it fits into everything. It fits into everything. I want to talk today about fame, like fame, right? Versus, or on the counter side, on the opposite side of the spectrum, there is wisdom. How so? All right. So in today's portion, and I'm going by the diaspora portion, because today is one portion ahead in Israel, but I want to keep the portions in order based on how I do them, talking from LA. So the portion today is Korach. Korach was the family member, cousin of Moses, and he was a priest, right? Korach was a priest, and he was in Israel at that time. There were many tribes. There were many leaders, rulers of the tribes, of different tribes in Israel, and it talks about that Korach and his people, and there's a list of names that are listed that together with Korach and many other important people wanted to create a coup against Moses. And this was their claim. They said, Moses, you are like almost like a god. You were appointed by God. You are our leader. It is absolutely, you are our leader. But to appoint a Kohen, you're taking your brother who was a Levite. You're taking a brother who was a Levite, and you're making him your priest. He's not a priest. He's your Levite. Is your brother. So how come you're using your brother and not sharing? I mean, supposedly, technically, the next person in line to be a high priest is me, meaning Korach. Korach said it was me. I was supposed to be. I don't agree to this. This is ridiculous. And they're starting creating a coup. Now, Moses told them, this is not my choice. I'm not choosing to put my brother there. I'm not giving him protection or anything. This is God said. And what he did, he said, come tomorrow, and he got a message, come tomorrow, and we'll all bring offerings, and that whose offering is being consumed by the Shekhinah, consumed by the fire, then you will know who's telling the truth. And if my offering won't be consumed, then you know that that I wasn't chosen, that I didn't select Aaron out of God's choosing. Okay. So there were also Datan and Aviram, two other ones that were also part of this coup, and there were a few other people, and On Ben Felet, and they all planned to go the next day, over 250 heads, and of course all the people want to see what's going on. So there is a big gathering, so there is a big kahunas, and I wonder if they turn it also like here. Every opportunity they turn it into a market and to a happening. So maybe it was something like this. Who knows? Anyway, so everybody's gathering the next day, the next day, and Moses sends to Datan and Aviram to come over. He is the king. He's saying, "Come over. I want to talk with you." They declined. They said, "Also, if you come to take our eyes out, we're not going to come. You are not going to tell us what to do. You are just using your own ego, and you are being selfish, and you're using your own ego." Now, our sages said, and it is not just our sages, but science caught up with Torah and with what the sages said. There is a sentence that says, "Haposel b'mumo posel," a person who is constantly, systematically, and looking at other person and all the time finding what's wrong with them, especially in a certain area, but in other areas, as we know it today, is called projections. When I recognize something in somebody else, whether it is positive or negative, there is at least 1% in my side, because I recognize it. Otherwise, I wouldn't recognize it. And the recognition comes from the fact that we all experience the same feelings, just different stories and different timelines. So Datan and Aviram and Korach said, "Oh, you are an arrogant. We are people of God. It is my job. It is my position. I should have that. Why is your brother having that?" Why is your brother having that? Why is your brother being appointed rather than somebody else? And so they come all together, and Moses gets messages from God, and he speaks to God, and God tells him, "Separate yourself from the people. Separate yourself from all the people of Korach, all those cooers, if you will." Separate yourself from them, because you don't want to be part of what I'm going to do with them. Okay? There is a middle part of the story, but I will come to that, because that has to do with the wisdom. And so this is what happens. Our sages will say that somebody who is chasing fame, the fame runs away from that person. It is a daily struggle that we're looking at things and we're saying, how are we interacting with one another? How are we interacting with ourselves? How are we interacting with other people? Right? So comes the next day, and Moses tells everybody, those of you who are with Korach, stay where you are. Those of you who are not, let's move to the other side of the camp. And he tells Korach, the people, if I am not, and the fire, it's his, Aaron's. Before that, he says, if I'm not choosing, if this is something that you have been wrongfully accusing and talking negative about God and about God's judgment, then this land will open itself and eat you up. And as he finished said that, the earth opened itself and closed back after everybody who came with Korach, his family, his people. Before this happened, Korach with his family and his wife and his kids went out in front of the tent and stood like, who are you? What are you going to do now? What are you going to do now? Well, what you're going to do is this. And the earth opened and closed them up. And this is what happens when we are so inside this matrix, or inside this monopoly game, rather. When we're inside this monopoly game, we're being consumed by it. We become a part of it. Because of our innate also desire to be part of something, when we are not authentic to truth, when we are coming from a place of an ego, then we are sucked into this game. And we're sucked in, and also because there are questions. I mean, Korach was a high priest. I mean, Korach was they were spiritual people. How come this happened to him? Well, unfortunately, we see how many things happen to many people that are given power, and the spiritual power is a different kind of power than a boss or a work, some kind of work or airline or whatever that is. Why? Because this is talking about the essence. It's dealing with the essence of a person. The soul is the key. I'm going to make it more straight. The source is what runs our body. Our soul is what runs our body. Our soul, our our experience runs our body. So when somebody has spiritual power, a group leader, and they're using it with their ego as their guiding tool, the next place is hell. When somebody believes you are God, makes you God, and you believe them, the next step is hell. So what happens? So Korach and all his entire crew, his entire family, kids, they all went down. There is another part of the story that is not as known, but it is talked about. In the list of people that are listed initially before they all were eaten up or went down because he wanted to go high and high, wanted to go up. He went down. It's this contrast. It's just like when somebody is chasing fame or somebody is angry or somebody is judging something constantly for something. It is the lack that they have in them, so they judge the other person. It's like a seesaw, you know. A seesaw. One time you're up, or one time you're down, and when you're down here, you want to go up, and vice versa. And so, in the list of people before all the coup or the showdown happened, there is a list of people, and there is one name that is not listed afterwards. The list of people who went down, and that's the name of On ben Felet, the son of Felet. And the story in there is very interesting because it talks here about wisdom, and not just wisdom, but the bina, the wisdom of the feminine, the wisdom of the woman. That for all these thousands of years, women, femininity, but women were being feared from. That is why there was the oppression. See, it's like a bully. Why does a bully oppress? Because he's being threatened somehow, and he doesn't have what that other person has, and he or she, and they're looking to get that. And the way to get that is sometimes in our day-to-day, putting somebody down, bullying, all kind of words and stuff like that. So that is a known tactic. Sometimes subconscious. Sometimes the bully is not aware that that's what they're doing. So there is the name On ben Felet. So here is the story that is in the Midrash and in the Gemara that's talking about this. On ben Felet was like an accountant there. And comes to his wife, comes home, and he says, you know, we're going tomorrow to do a coup. Moses is not okay. We need to take care of business. It's not cool that he's the only one that is dealing with this stuff, you know, and we should, I'm going to join the group to do a coup against Moses. And his wife said, you know, why are you doing this? You're now an accountant, right? Let's say Korach overthrows Moses and Aaron, and what would your job be? Did you talk to them about this? So no, they just said I'll have a secured job. I'll be an accountant for a long time. So she said, you know, why do you care then? You're going to be the same here, the same there. Why do you care? Why do you have to put yourself and fight somebody else's games and play somebody else's games? Why do you have to do that? No, but it's important. We have to stand for justice. It is not right. You see, this is the thing. Many times when we were trying to do something from a place of an ego, we justify why we do what we do. We give reasons. We find reasons for anything that we want to do. We find reasons. That is why I believe the sentence is, if you have a will, in Hebrew it rhymes. If you have a will, even a rooster will lay eggs like a chicken, right? Or if you have will, even a broomstick will fly. It's that kind to express that anything that we want to do, really we can do that. So anything that we believe and think, we really can justify because we are giving reasons to make it justifiable. So he didn't have an answer to his wife. He said, look, I don't know what already. I told them already. She said, you know what? Let me take care of it. Comes the next day. She prepared him a meal. An afternoon they were supposed to come. She prepared him a meal. Very nice and heavy meal. And she told him, why don't you go lay down and I'll call you when the time comes, when they come over. So he ate, he thanked her, wonderful food, yummy, and he went to sleep. His wife went out of the tent. Now, mind you, the tents at that time, because of the humility of the people, the tents at the time, even the openings of the tents were facing, there were the tent here and then a tent here, and then one by one or the other. But because of the modesty, the opening of the tents adjacent to one another never face the other opening of the other tent, so they will not see what's going inside the tent. Now comes out this wife of On Ben Felet, takes off, removes her head cover, and at that time, women had head covers, and if you take your head cover off, a man is not allowed to look at the hair of this other woman. And she started brushing her hair. Along comes Korach and his people, and they stopped in their tracks because they saw his wife combing her. Said, okay, we'll go around, we'll collect other people, then we'll come back. They go, they do what they do, they come back to collect On, son of Felet, and they see his wife is still in the front combing her hair, and they're not allowed, they cannot get close to the tent to even ask something. So they say, you know what, let's leave him. He's not, let's leave him. And that is how he was saved, actually. On Ben Felet did not die. On Ben Felet and his family did not die in that opening, earth opening. And there is the place of wisdom. Women for thousands of years have been feared because of their extra bina, their extra understanding, because of the way of how to look at things. Everything started from the feminine, the Shechina, the Holy Spirit. The Shechina is a feminine, is coming from a feminine. We start from a feminine that gives birth to feminine and masculine and goes back. And so this is the wisdom that can, and what it is, what did the wisdom do? What really the wisdom did with On Ben Felet? Seesaw, right? One up, one down. It's stabilized. Hold on, let me go. Oh, okay. Boom. Stabilized. It stabilized this emotional structure. Stabilizing our emotional structure is crucial if we want to choose healthy, if we want to choose from place of consideration, of place of harmony. And so in this beautiful scenery, how can one not integrate? And so I am here integrating all these experiences. I'm here integrating with people, with beautiful people. Those who are watching and those who are here with me. I grew up not far away from there, where is this? Over there, and in Tel Aviv. I grew up over there in Bat Yam and in Tel Aviv, and right here, and one of the buildings behind was the old police station where my dad was the chief of police of Tel Aviv at that time, and I went to visit there, and it's just been experiencing integration on so many levels. So I want to thank you so much for being here, for joining me, and we're not going to see the sunset today, but we will experience a Tel Aviv sunset, a true Tel Aviv sunset soon. So with that said, I wish you have a wonderful weekend. Choose harmony, choose balancing act, choose integration. Without integration, there is no motion. It's like integration. Integrate, and then enjoy. So I'm going to leave you with that. Thank you very much for joining. Shabbat Shalom. Have a wonderful time and smile.